Everyone, I just wanted to check in with you halfway through Unit 5. We're a week and a half through our 2-week intersession, so we're almost done. We can see the end very close in sight. For the next couple of days, of course, we have a unit and a half to finish of just the regular coursework. You'll have Saturday and half of Sunday to complete the final project. So please let me know if you have any questions about what is required for the project. Do remember that what you're doing on Adobe Spark is creating a digital enhanced annotated bibliography. And I say it that way because you can include images, and should include images, links, and videos, especially if those are your sources, right in Adobe Spark, and make it look much nicer than just a regular annotated bibliography that you might submit via Word or something. This evening, tonight by midnight, the bibliography or the list of sources is due. Remember, that one does not need to be annotated. It's just to kind of check in to make sure that you have all of the sources that you need to have for your project as you finish out your annotations for Sunday by noon. Remember, you can turn things in early too if you're done early. You don't have to wait until Sunday at noon to complete that. Also due Sunday at noon are your discussion posts. Many of you have already begun those, but if you haven't, remember that you need to complete 2 of the 4, and you need to post your either meme or your photograph from the Great Depression or whatever it is, depending on which forums you decide to complete. And then you need to post at least one response to one of your classmates, and in that response you need to talk about again, what you think of their post, what they did well, and provide one suggestion for improvement, to have some sort of positive feedback and some critical but helpful feedback on our posts as well. If you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to ask. Also, I wanted to offer an extra credit opportunity connected to our timeline assignments that we've been doing. Since we're almost done with the course timeline, for extra credit, I wanted to offer you the opportunity of going to Tiki and creating your own account and creating your own timeline. On that timeline, what you need to do is just gather all of the posts that you've made to our course timeline and put them together in one place. So it's just taking what you've already done, putting it onto your own separate timeline, and then what you'll need to do is evaluate it. Think about what your choices of topics and the way that you've spoken about those topics say about the way that you look at New Mexico history. So something we talked about at the beginning of our 2 weeks together was this idea that history is something that is filtered through the way that we understand the world. Whether it's a primary source or a secondary source, whether it's written, whether it's a video, the person who's creating that thing has a certain way of viewing the world, and that will determine the kinds of questions he or she asks about the past, might determine the things that they choose to emphasize, the things that we choose to de-emphasize. And so think about all of that as you look over the posts that you've made over the last 2 weeks to the timeline. And again, think about, what does this say about how I look at New Mexico history personally? And I'll have a written blurb about this extra credit opportunity. I'll add it to the extra credit section alongside the Milagro Beanfield War opportunity in Blackboard. Not something you have to do, but it's something that will be also worth 100 points, up to 100 points if you decide to take it on. So there's that. And then finally, as we're finishing out the course as well, I just wanted to make one more comment about historical significance. And I know I've posted a few things about historical significance and what it means. Really what I'm getting at is, for historical significance, you need to explain, so what, why do I care? Why should we care about this person, place, thing, or event? And if you haven't done that in your entry on the timeline, that's when I come back with the feedback of, well, you need to have a few sentences that explain historical significance in specific terms. You may have listed significant things about your entry. So for example, if you posted on El Fuego Baca, You may have listed information about the Frisco shootout. You may have listed his work as sheriff in Socorro and the efforts that he took to protect the rights of Nuevo Mexicanos. You may have listed all those things, but if you haven't then gone another step and explained why that matters and why it's important that he did those things, how it influenced the course of history and of the development of New Mexico, you haven't yet addressed historical significance. So hopefully that distinction will help. Sorry, it comes a little late in the intersession. As always, please let me know if you have any questions as we finish out our last few days, and I look forward to a